Welcome back to Nuclear News, where every single week the nuclear renaissance continues to evolve and grow, and the uranium supply shortage continues to get worse and worse. So we're just staying on top of it. Put up with the background a little bit longer. It's not ideal, but I'm out in Palm Springs, so this bunker look is just what we're going to have to deal with in the short term. But again, not important when you understand what's going on with the uranium space. Sprott Uranium Miners ETF year to date up 9.85%. The Sprott Junior Uranium Miners ETF up 14.76%. So we see the market starting to correct a little bit like markets always do, but the junior uranium miners are still outperforming the bigger cap names. So that is a great sign. That is what we want to see, right? It means this is just a short-term move. The small cap assets clearly still have a bid, which speaks to investor demand. And then we have the broader stock market. S&P 500 only up 5.68%. So uranium miners continue to outperform. Why is that? Well, let's dive through the news. What is going on in this space? We have Goldman Sachs saying as the world searches for reliable, carbon-free, and secure energy sources, certain metals are becoming more attractive. Which of these metals has seen its price increase by more than 100% in the last year? Uranium. They are saying uranium, nuclear energy is becoming an increasingly attractive solution away from hydrocarbons, while other carbon-free energy sources are developed, according to Goldman Sachs Investment Strategy Group, right? So Goldman Sachs fully understands what is going on in this space. Nuclear energy, an increasingly attractive energy source, right? So we get to watch as the nuclear renaissance unfolds and stay on top of news like this. Naria of France and Thorazine of the Netherlands have signed a strategic partnership agreement to advance the development of molten salt reactors in Europe, right? Small modular reactors, big reactors, both growing massively across the globe. UK initiative to expand nuclear workforce. The UK civil and defense nuclear sectors have launched a first-of-its-kind collaboration cross-sector initiative known as Destination Nuclear, aimed at boosting the workforce to help deliver the country's nuclear expansion ambitions. So we have UK, we have France, we have the Netherlands going big into this space. Korea sees need for more nuclear power plants to hit net zero. South Korea will require more nuclear power plants to completely ditch coal and meet its climate targets, according to a state-controlled research institute. So this is about currently where South Korea's energy mix is. We're at 29.6 nuclear. They're trying to replace coal, which means double the demand for nuclear power in Korea. So this is the demand side of the supply-demand equation for uranium. Constellation files Clinton license renewal application. The 20-year license renewal would allow the Illinois nuclear power plant to continue providing carbon-free electricity to the region until 2047 with adequate market or policy support, Constellation Energy Corps said. Just so you're fully aware, this is the demand line in orange, right? Every time we get a news article like this, the orange line moves up, right? Now, when it comes to the supply demand fundamentals of this space, we see the demand line moving up, but we don't see the supply bars in blue and yellow budging. They can't, right? This is the best estimate. So demand moves up, supply stays fixed, and there's nothing but air between them, which means there's nothing but upside on the price until this gap gets filled, which clearly won't happen until 2040 and beyond, according to industry experts and charts like this. Doesn't get bigger than this. So Italian finance and insurance group, SACE, and then Romania's Nuclear Electrica have signed a memorandum of understanding related to the life extension of Cernovada Unit 1 and the development of Units 3 and 4. So we have expansion in Europe continuing. And then we haven't even seen the usage of nuclear in its full potential, right? We're talking ships globally. We're talking every single piece of industry that uses electricity will very likely be fueled by nuclear power because it's the best alternative. And so here's just one example of that. Future data centers may have built-in nuclear reactors, built-in nuclear reactors, right? It doesn't get bigger than this. We're still in the early stages of the mass adoption of this technology and brand new emerging technologies enabling it. So that is the demand side. Orange line just continuing to move up every single week. Unfortunately, the supply is either fixed or shrinking. So let's stay on top of some news related to the supply. Bloomberg is reporting some interesting points from the Urano conference call. Urano needs to find a safe route to export uranium out of Niger and may need to buy uranium on the market if operations remain idle for too long. Imports of reagents needed for Urano's operations in Niger and exports of uranium out of African nation have been disrupted since last year. Company has managed to ship some reagents needed for its operations in the country and has resumed production on a small scale. So what we're seeing is supply chains being disrupted, the supply of uranium from Kazatomprom, disappointing, right? We have an inflationary world where supply chains are getting disrupted, input costs are getting more expensive. So as demand continues to rise, we have situations like this in Nigeria. We've talked about the situation in Kazakhstan. Supply cannot get online fast enough to meet this massive demand, period. So today, yet another uranium miner reported a £1 million 2023 production miss, warning of supply risk, confirmed they need to buy pounds. But that wasn't enough fireworks to attract investors who were unloading many Canada-US mining stocks headed for a long weekend, right? So these suppliers who utilities rely on for uranium actually have to go to the very expensive spot market and buy spot uranium over $100 per pound. And what does that do? That just continues to pump the price of uranium higher and higher and higher in a flywheel that most likely can't be filled until this supply gap gets filled. And again, industry experts, best guess, doesn't show it being filled anytime soon. So take that for what you will. We're just going to have to stay on top of this space.